Dan, we gotta film.
5 more minutes, okay? We'll get back to work. I'm enjoying something here.
That's your 5th beer already.
5 more minutes, and we'll get to it, okay? So we've all had this experience, right? Where you know there's something you should be doing, but it's so painful, even if it's something small like dealing with an accounting issue or sending an email response. For whatever reason, you really don't want to do it. And so you find a way to do anything but that one task. That is called procrastination. And the reason procrastination is so bad is that it's not like you just take longer to do this one task, but you waste all this time in the middle, right? Because it's not just that this task isn't getting done, but all the time in the middle is usually wasted. It's very rare that when we procrastinate, we enjoy it. We say, all right, you know what? I'm going to delay this. I'm going to go to the beach, hang out for the day. Okay, we do procrastinate that way too. But generally the procrastination I'm talking about is when you're sitting at the computer, you're kind of checking and rechecking emails and different things, doing odds and ends, but really getting nothing done. And I want to go through in this video some solutions and tips on how to prevent and overcome procrastination. So let's start with in the moment. You're sitting there, it's 2 p.m., the last hour you have been wasting, perhaps you have that after lunch low, and there's a task you're just not doing. What do you do? How do you break out of that state? Well, the good news and bad news here. The bad news is that I have no easy solution or trick for you in terms of just boom, magically, like you're able to get back to work, right? But there's a few things you can do. One is changing your state. And so when you're sitting there and you're in this email checking mode or social media, just procrastination hell, right? Is you need to break that. And one way to do it is by changing your body. And so you can do this different ways. You can get up and jump around your apartment, put on some music. You can get up and go for a walk. One of the things that I find can be quite helpful is when I am in this procrastination mode, is just to accept it, embrace it, and go do something else for a bit, right? So if I fight it, it tends to get worse and keep fighting me back. Where if I just accept it and say, you know what, I'm gonna go for a walk and at least make good use of this time, because sitting on Facebook or whatever, I don't really do Facebook, but sitting, checking whatever, reading some news is not going to serve me. So let's go for a walk, at least get some sun, meet a friend, something like that, to at least break my state and get out of that, and then maybe come back and make the most of it. On this note as well, if you end up wasting a whole day due to procrastination, and hopefully by the end of this video that's not going to happen too much, but if you do find yourself basically wasting the whole day, come evening time you're faced with that question of, do you go out and meet your friends, or do you go out for dinner, or do you stay home and get that work done because you didn't do it during the day? Personally, I'm an advocate of writing the day off and saying, you know what, I'm in a bad headspace today. That was a big screw up, but it's done. Let's go out and recharge. And for me, one of the reasons I do this is I know that human contact is quite important for me. So that one of the causes of my procrastination can often be that I've just been at home working for too long or not out with friends. And so continuing to delay going out with friends or having fun, which usually serves as a reset, and then I'm really productive the next day. If I avoid that because I procrastinated, then it just makes the problem worse, and the next day is going to be much less productive, right? So all this aside, the best way to deal with procrastination is a preemptive strike. Deal with it before it comes up. And there are two categories for doing this that I really recommend you take action on. The first is how you set up your day. Now, traditionally, there's this belief of eat the frog. I think Brian Tracy wrote some cheesy self-help book on this. Do the hardest thing in the day first. And this is the classic 1950s self-help advice that sometimes is useful and for some people, but generally doesn't have a lot of merit. And what I think is a much better approach to starting your day is pick the thing that is fun and enjoyable, but is also very important for your business. So that could be filming videos, it could be writing, it could be marketing if you enjoy that, or meeting with clients. Whatever it is that you enjoy and also contributes a lot to your bottom line, pick that for the beginning of the day and some magical things will start to happen. So you get up and you spend your first 2 hours doing this enjoyable / productive / profit driving activity. And what happens after that is you start to feel really good about yourself, right? Because you've got this important thing done. arguably and often the most important thing you need to do all day. If I spend the first 2 hours of my day writing, even if I screw the rest up, it's still a pretty good day. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm not going to beat myself up. So first off, you've got enough done that you're feeling pretty good already. You've also taken the pressure off yourself for being productive that day, right? Because you already got some stuff done, you feel pretty good. You go into the afternoon and then you can deal with the odds and ends, the other stuff that you might normally procrastinate or those other tasks. And you'll be in a better headspace because you've done something you've enjoyed. You're going to be feeling good about that. Also, just you would have enjoyed it. So you're going to be feeling a bit happier for the day. And then when you go into the afternoon and you have to do the work you don't enjoy as much or you might be putting off, you're going to be in a much better place to actually just power through that and get it done. So we talked about dealing with procrastination in the moment. We talked about on a daily planning basis. And now I want to talk about it life-wise in terms of life design. And as you probably know, I'm a big advocate of life design. I have my teaching, the life design approach, and this is all based on building your life around you and your personality type and your strengths so that you don't have to do too many things that involve procrastination. So the ability to sort of in the short term get through things, if you have something come up that you would usually procrastinate, if you have it come up here and there, odds and ends, it's not a big deal to get through. But if it's coming up every day, all the time, that's going to beat your soul down and it's going to be tough to get done. So what I would suggest is finding a pursuit, a job, a business, whatever it is, where the majority of your work is actually things you enjoy, things that you're not going to procrastinate, at least not very often. And within that, find ways to outsource or eliminate the work you don't like doing that much. So I've done this in my own business as much as possible, where either between hiring people, but more often just eliminating the work I don't want to do. The things that I don't do well or I procrastinate, I basically just don't do. And it's different ways you can do that, but it's basically changing your business model, right? Change what you offer, change how you work, and that way you're not necessarily going to have to do these things that you hate doing. So pulling back at your life and taking an inventory over the week. Okay, what are the things I procrastinated? What did I hate doing? And then looking to eliminate those or to hire someone to help you for them. And you've probably heard the argument for hiring like a virtual assistant or someone like that before. And the main benefit of it isn't just that, let's say your time is worth $30 an hour and you hire someone for $10 an hour, right? That's part of it. But if you hire someone to do the task and it should take 1 hour, it will probably take them 1 hour. But if it's a task you hate doing and you try to do it yourself, it will probably take you 3 hours or 4 hours because there'll be all this procrastination and dread time built in with it. So for me, in my own experience, hiring people to do the stuff that I tend to procrastinate or get behind on has been a total game changer. And I would recommend looking at that as well when you basically break down a week or a month and look at, hey, where do I procrastinate? Where does this come in? And then think long term about how you can actually eliminate that from your day-to-day life. So yes, I know that video wasn't like 3 easy tips to stop procrastination right away, but if you know me, you know that I tend to focus on the bigger picture and sustainable changes, right? Instead of using some little hack to stop procrastination one day, why not make the bigger changes in how you set up your days and how you set up your life so you don't even run into procrastination nearly as much? Now, with that said, I know in order to act on this advice, you need probably more content or advice getting into like how do you actually outsource or break down the things you procrastinate and eliminate them. And that's where subscribing to the channel comes in, because I will have more content coming up over these topics over the coming months in terms of life design and dealing with procrastination and eliminating stuff you don't like to do and all that. So be sure to subscribe and catch you in another video soon.